Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video. Today I'd like to show you the first video of a small series I'm going to make, which is all about applying first aid properly. This will be a short series of 3 to 4 videos. In each of them I will analyze a couple different scenarios and tell you how to deal with them until professional help arrives. Remember, in every single scenario the first thing that's important is staying calm, as your thought process shouldn't be blocked from shock so that you could apply first aid properly. I think a first aid guide is quite interesting to watch and even enjoyable for me to create. On today's video, I will cover the topic of bleeding, of contamination, and of sticks and bites. I want to keep this video short and not boring to watch, so I'll try my best. But first, I just want to briefly say that if you're enjoying the content I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to let me know. Let's get right into the video. So, the first topic I want to cover for today is bleeding. To understand how important stopping bleeding is, I'll just say that a normal child has 3.5 to 4 liters of blood in their body and that a normal adult has 6.5 to 7 liters. If even a tenth of that is lost, the human life can be set in danger. So it's very important that when someone is bleeding seriously, you have to act quickly. First off, let's talk about internal bleeding. If someone is bleeding internally, the first thing you should do is call an ambulance. After that, it's of importance to position the person in a sitting position if the bleeding is in the chest, or in a laying position with the legs raised if the bleeding is in the belly. We should relax any tight clothing, keep the victim warm, and check his breathing and pulse roughly every 5 seconds. These are the basic actions you should take when someone is bleeding internally. Let's now discuss the topic of external bleeding. The first thing we should do in this situation is to apply pressure at the bleeding spot for 5 to 10 minutes with our palm while wearing gloves. If the bleeding continues after that, cover the wound with cotton or clean clothing and wrap it tightly with a plastic bandage. If it continues even after doing that a second time, call an ambulance immediately to avoid large blood losses. Another interesting topic I want to cover for today is amputation. In the rare off chance that someone loses a limb, you have to cover the cut part with something clean that's available at the moment. Although you shouldn't use wire or rope. Make a tight knot at that part to make sure that you stop the blood loss. After that, mark the time you made the knot to inform the doctors when you arrive to the hospital. Last but not least, clean the cut part with clean water, cover it with a membrane to place it in cold water or even ice to maintain it for the time being. These were the scenarios I wanted to cover about bleeding, so right now let's get right into the next topic, contamination. To avoid contamination, wear gloves, wash the wound with water for 3 to 5 minutes, and dry the wound with a sterile gauze. In case you need to change the gauze or if the gauze is stuck, use saline to remove it. It is also necessary to use it if the wound is too deep or if it has debris from the ground. Let's get right into the topic of bites and stings now. I'll cover 3 different types which I believe are quite common. The first one is the sting of a bee or the bite of a wasp, the second one is the bite of a snake, and the last one is the sting of a jellyfish. Let's first talk about wasps and bees. In this case, you should remove the sting with the edge of a sharp object and place ice on the spot that was stung. Remove any tight clothing around the spot as swelling is sure to happen and use antihistamine ointment. If the person is allergic to it, you need to inject adrenaline either in the arm or the thigh or even the buttocks. If that is not available, go straight to the hospital. It is also necessary to go to the hospital if the sting is in the neck, the mouth or the tongue, as swelling can obstruct their breathing. In the case of a snake bite, you have to first identify if the snake is venomous or not. Venomous snakes can be identified by the zigzag line on their body, or by the triangular head, or even by the type of the bite. If it's venomous, the wound will look like the picture. After identifying the type of the snake, you have to act immediately. You have to keep the victim steady and wash the wound with lots of water and soap. Use ice to reduce swelling and tightly cover the spot, like in the case of amputation. Last but not least, keep the part that was bit lower than the heart and go straight to the hospital. The last case of today is that of a jellyfish. In this case, apply the wound with pure alcohol or with dry sand or even clean fabric, and after that put liquid ammonia on it. Last but not least, use antihistamine ointment to avoid contamination. If the victim is allergic, same as the other cases, you have to rush to the hospital to avoid an allergic shock. So everyone, this is all I want to cover for today. I just want to briefly say that this video was quite hard for me to create as most of my files got corrupted right as I finished it, so I had to redo it from the start. In the case that you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like the video to show me your support and encourage me to continue this as much as possible. Thanks a lot and good day. As always, stay healthy.